Yeah, before this game, Mikel Arteta signed a new 3-year contract. A word on the job he's done, and is it only winning the title that would secure his kind of feelings around this job? You know what I mean? Is that the only success that will really quantify what he's done?
No, because of where he's taken Arsenal. I mean, there was times where at the beginning of his reign at Arsenal, there was a lot of questions being asked about him, and was it the right fit for Arsenal? The one thing you could see straight away when he came in, and it's the buzzword in football, is an identity. You could see what they were trying to do. You could see the ideas. But what he needed the players to be able to achieve what he wanted to do. Now, there was a lot of murmurings around the club, about the board, about the ownership. We don't hear any of that now, because the board have gone in and they backed this guy and they gave him a lot of money. But he's bought extremely well, and now they're competing in the Premier League against arguably one of the best teams that we've seen in the Premier League history in Manchester City. But now the question is as well, can you also do it in the Champions League? It's not all the Premier League. Arsenal fans will want a great run in the Champions League. They'll believe they should have gone further last year in the Champions League. But bringing in the likes of Sterling will allow them to rest a Saka and give them more longevity in a competition like that. But also as well, what he's been able to achieve is to bring in a Saka as a little bit, a Sterling as a little bit of not a gamble, but a left field buy, because he's got the total trust of the board now. So it's a really good deal for both parties. He's done an incredible job, Mikel Arteta. Yeah,
and that Champions League adventure starts with Atalanta in midweek, and that's followed by Manchester City at the Etihad. It is still September, but how big a week is this coming up for Arsenal?
It is a big week, and 3 away games as well. So they've obviously started well, beating Tottenham away from home with those players missing. They've then got a difficult, tricky game midweek. I know they probably haven't started as well as what they feel like they should have done, but we know that they've got difficult players, and it'll certainly prove a test. Like you said, it's quite a quick turnaround, so it's the rotation maybe of players. They'll be hoping that some of those players that went off injured are going to be back and okay. And then it's a tough game against Manchester City, because I think you just know you have to be near perfect, and that's the thing. Mikel Arteta, what a brilliant job he's done. It's just unfortunate that he's come up in a fantastic manager in Pep Guardiola, that he's maybe not managed to achieve what he wants to achieve just yet.
Looking at the City game, and Arsenal drew there last season, there was a lot of kind of what-ifs around that game. If Arsenal had really gone for it, maybe the way City were playing that day, they could have got the win.
Yeah.
So what does Mikel Arteta do here? Having seen what Brentford did, actually, at the weekend, they had a right go at City, didn't they? Ended up losing, but...
It's completely different, though, because the way you approach a game, hindsight's a fantastic thing in football.
20/20 vision, I've got.
Yeah, exactly. You're brilliant at this one. Why you're not sat in the hot seat, I don't know, in the Premier League.
I can think of 1,000 reasons.
The difference being is that City's mentality at the start of the Brentford game would be nowhere near what the mentality would be of an Arsenal team. Knowing what they're going up against, they would not start sluggishly. They wouldn't allow that to happen. Now, Pep Guardiola spoke after the game and was obviously saying how well Brentford played within the first 30 minutes, and that's absolutely fine. But they won't allow that against Arsenal. That can't happen. The dangers are very understandable with the systems that both sets of players play. They almost play identically. So they understand how to play against each other. They know the flaws in each other's systems, but they also know the positives within them systems. There's so much on the line in this game. But even the atmosphere, everything about the game will be completely different to that Brentford game. No game's the same.
And that's why it's fun. Next up for Arsenal then in the league is that huge game against Manchester City. You can see it live Super Sunday. That's from 4 p.m. That's on Sky Sports Premier League.